Hello again, Radiant Souls. I'm Luna Celestine, and if you've been sensing something shifting lately, you're not imagining it. Something subtle has been stirring beneath the surface of your days, a restlessness in the quiet moments, a strange weight in the air, a pause that doesn't feel like stillness, but like something waiting to be born. That feeling? It's not random, it's not fleeting, it's a signal, because there is a moon rising now, soft in name but powerful in presence, the pink full moon of April 12, 2025. At first glance, it may seem gentle, pastel hues, poetic titles, a soothing glow that tempts us into reverie, but don't be fooled. This is not a decorative moon meant to pass quietly through your sky. It is a threshold, a turning point, a cosmic invitation wrapped in soft light, but carrying the fierce momentum of real change. And yes, they say this moon grants wishes, but before you close your eyes and whisper yours into the night, there is something you must understand. Because this time, the universe is not offering blessings without boundaries. This time, the moon is not responding to what you hope for, but to what you are truly ready to hold. This isn't just another moon to admire from your window. For many, the pink full moon is a soft, poetic pause, but for Leo, it's a reckoning. It doesn't come to flatter you with temporary light. It comes to challenge your relationship with your own fire. And I say this with deep care. This moon is not impressed by your achievements, your charm, or how brightly you shined in the past. It is only interested in what remains when all of that is stripped away. What's underneath the spotlight, when the stage is silent? What have you built in the shadows when no one was looking? Because this moon is a portal, not a metaphor, but a real energetic threshold. And it does not open for the wishful, it opens for the ready. And readiness for Leo is often the hardest thing to measure. You're so accustomed to rising for others, to showing up with strength even when your spirit is exhausted. You've learned how to carry others, how to lead, how to sparkle even when something inside you has dimmed. But the pink moon isn't interested in your ability to carry others anymore. It's asking, who carries you? This moon doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to who you've quietly become. It watches the choices you make when no one is clapping, the forgiveness you offer when no one is watching, the boundaries you enforce even when they cost you comfort. It's those small, consistent, soul-led decisions that determine what the universe is ready to mirror back. So if life has felt blurry lately, like your sense of direction has softened, like the very things you were sure of are slipping from your hands, know this: you're not being abandoned, you're being filtered. Leo, this is not the chaos of punishment. This is the order of preparation. Divine filtration strips away what cannot walk through the next door with you, not because you're broken, but because you're being refined. And here's the deeper truth. This moon does not reward performance. It rewards presence. It doesn't amplify the version of you who's doing things to prove your worth. It amplifies the version who finally knows you were worthy all along. You may feel a strange calm within the chaos, a sense that something important is shifting, even if you can't name it yet. Let that be. You're not meant to rush this process, because what this moon is activating in you isn't a one-time wish. It's a deeper alignment, a readiness to be who you truly are, with or without applause. And in the days ahead, that alignment will become more visible, not through signs, not through praise, but through a quiet knowing. I'm no longer who I was. I'm no longer available for the life that kept me small. This, dear Leo, is the beginning of everything that is real. Let it unfold. Let it be quiet. Let it be yours. There's a strange magic in the air right now. A thinning of layers, a subtle pulling back of masks, including the ones we didn't know we were wearing. And for you, Leo, that magic may feel oddly disorienting. Compliments that once fed your spirit might now leave a strange taste in your mouth. Words like, "You're so strong, you always light up the room," or "You're the rock for everyone," may no longer land as affirmation. but as quiet reminders of the roles you've been expected to play. This full moon doesn't just reveal truth in grand gestures, it reveals it in tone, in silence, in the way your body reacts when someone praises you for traits you're tired of carrying. For Leo, whose identity has long been shaped by the need to be inspiring, dependable, and radiant for others, this is a moment of reckoning, because some of those compliments, they weren't love. They were permission slips to keep you in a version of yourself that served others more than it ever served you. This moon is lifting the veil not just between worlds, but between intentions. You'll begin to feel it in the subtle tension in conversations, in the way a seemingly kind remark makes your shoulders tighten or your chest pull inward. Not every compliment is meant for your evolution. Some are designed to keep you safe, which often means small. And here's where it becomes personal. For someone like you, whose strength has often been mistaken for invulnerability, this is the beginning of a sacred shift. The real you is rising. The you that's tired of being everything for everyone. The you that's done smiling when you're hurting. The you that no longer needs to be the brightest in the room to feel valuable. Not everyone will understand this version of you. Some may call it a phase. Others may quietly resent the distance that your clarity creates. Let them. You're not here to maintain a version of yourself that others are comfortable with. You're here to become someone your own soul recognizes. In the days ahead, these subtle tests will continue. Words will be offered, expectations will be placed. And your work is not to fight them, but to notice, to feel, to choose. The next part of your journey is not about proving anything. It's about releasing what no longer supports who you're becoming. And that includes praise that asks you to dim, to please, or to stay put when your spirit is ready to move. And sometime between the night of April 12 and the morning of April 13, there will be a strange hour, quiet, still, almost holy. Not the kind of stillness that asks you to sleep, but the kind that asks you to listen. Not with your ears, but with your entire being. Leo, you won't need a sign. You won't need to be told it's happening. You'll feel it in the soft drop of temperature, in the way the air seems to hold its breath around you. Your own heartbeat might sound louder than usual. And then, without warning, a memory may return. Something long buried, something you thought was already resolved. It won't come to haunt you. It will come to remind you that you're not who you were when that memory was formed, that you're no longer living in reaction to that pain, that you've changed. This is the window. It won't ask you to act. In fact, it will ask you not to. For Leo, who's so often been called to lead, to do, to shine, this is the moon's tender invitation to not do, to allow, to let the energy move through you without needing to shape it into anything. Because sometimes the deepest transformations don't announce themselves. They hum quietly beneath your ribs. They bloom slowly in your chest. They settle before they speak. In this sacred pause, the most courageous thing you can do is simply remain fully, vulnerably present. Let your awareness stretch into the edges of the unknown. Let yourself feel the vastness of who you're becoming without trying to define it. You don't need to name it. You just need to be in it. And here's why this matters. What arises for you in that hour, the emotion, the memory, the sensation, is the seed of your next season. But it won't bloom through force. It will unfold through gentleness, through willingness, through trust. Because what's coming next, Leo, isn't something you can plan. It's something you'll grow into. And before it becomes visible to others, it will first ask for your full, quiet consent. So when that stillness arrives, don't fill it. Don't explain it away, just meet it. That moment is yours, and the version of you waiting on the other side is more rooted, more whole, and more ready than you've ever allowed yourself to be. There's also a rare cosmic moment hidden within this pink full moon, a brief but powerful event where the moon will pass in front of the star Spica in the constellation Virgo. Astronomers call it an occultation, but energetically it's something much more intimate. Spica is the star of inner harvest, the quiet, invisible rewards that grow from deep patience, slow healing, and the kind of alignment that doesn't need to be seen to be real. And for you, Leo, this moment holds a subtle but profound mirror, because when Spica disappears, even for just a breath, you might feel something inside you dim as well. A truth you were sure of may soften, a direction you trusted may blur. That confidence you've worked so hard to protect might feel unsteady for a moment. Not because you've failed, but because you're being asked to let your inner clarity go underground, just long enough for it to deepen. For someone like you, so often driven by clarity, by the fire of knowing who you are and what you stand for, this dimming can feel uncomfortable. But it's not a loss, it's a sacred pause, an intentional folding in, like a seed returning to the soil one last time before it breaks open for good. This is not the part where you figure it all out. This is the part where you trust the unraveling, where you allow your certainty to loosen, not because it was wrong, but because it's evolving. The clarity that comes after this moment won't be louder, it will be truer, less performative, more yours. And when it returns, Leo, it won't ask you to roar, it will simply ask you to recognize yourself. Not the version shaped by expectation, not the one built for applause, but the one that's endured, softened, and still burns with quiet purpose. That is the clarity waiting for you on the other side of this moon. So don't rush to define what's unclear. Don't panic if something you've clung to starts to slip. You are not being erased, you are being rewritten. And the new language of your becoming is about to reveal itself in ways even you didn't expect. And then you'll stand before two doors, both open, both quiet, neither one marked with certainty, no divine signs, no thunder of intuition, just choice, just space, just the ache of becoming. For Leo, whose path has so often been forged in boldness, this is the deeper challenge, to choose not out of confidence, but out of truth. Because this moon is not asking you to roar, it's asking you to listen, to the version of yourself that no longer needs to perform certainty in order to feel safe. And that's where the real test lies, not in the difficulty of the decision, but in the silence that surrounds it. You're used to being decisive, to knowing, to claiming the path and walking it with fire. But what if this time, the power isn't in the clarity, it's in the trust? What if the bravest thing you can do now is to choose not from the story that shaped you, but from the self that's emerging? Because this pink moon won't reward the version of you who chooses out of habit, out of fear, or out of obligation to an old identity. It will only respond to the choice made by the part of you that knows healing is not perfection. So ask yourself honestly, which door would my most healed self walk through? The one where I am still needed in ways that drain me, or the one where I am free to disappoint others in order to be fully whole? The one that feels safe because it's familiar, or the one that stretches me into my next becoming? You won't have proof. You won't get confirmation. What you will have is a quiet knowing in your body, a sense of exhale, or a nervousness that feels more like birth than fear. That's what you follow. And yes, even after you choose, you might second-guess yourself. That's human. That's the echo of your old self asking if it still gets to decide. And with grace, you'll say no. Because you've changed, Leo. This moon doesn't want you to prove yourself. It wants you to honor yourself. Let that be the compass. Let that be the path. And walk it, not because someone said you could, but because you finally know you're allowed. Now, here's the part no one tells you. You're not just feeling the shift. You are the shift. And Leo, this truth lands differently for you because transformation has never been a distant concept. You live it, you embody it, you carry it through the way you show up, the way your energy enters a room before your words ever do. But what's unfolding now is more subtle. You may say something ordinary, a sentence, a gesture, a boundary you didn't explain, and to someone else it becomes a turning point, a mirror they weren't ready for but needed. You won't get a thank you, you may not even realize what you've done. Because when you live from alignment, your presence begins to do the work. Your words no longer need to. And here's where this becomes personal, Leo. You've spent a lifetime learning how to be strong for others. Now you're learning that your evolution will stir discomfort, not just in you, but in those who aren't ready to grow in the same direction. Some will pull away. Others will feel magnetized without understanding why. They're not reacting to your actions. They're responding to the version of themselves that you reflect back to them. You are becoming a living frequency, not by force, but by truth. You've outgrown the need to explain your healing, to shrink your joy so others feel comfortable, to dim your clarity because someone else is still hiding from theirs. So don't chase. Don't adjust your tone to make the medicine easier to swallow. Don't offer disclaimers for your wholeness. Just shine. Let the ones who are meant to rise with you feel what they need to feel, and let the rest fall away with grace. Because the final truth is this: you are no longer here to carry everyone forward. You are here to become so fully yourself that others remember how to return to themselves. You don't have to lead with effort. You only have to live with truth. And that, Leo, is what this moon makes possible. Not a performance, but a remembering. Not a role, but a reclamation. You are not just part of the shift. You are its signal. Let yourself shine without apology. Let your becoming speak louder than your fear. And above all, trust what rises when you no longer ask for permission. So, if this pink full moon makes you feel strange, still, uncertain, that's not a sign you're lost. It's a sign you're listening. You're not here to repeat the past, Leo. Not the patterns, not the roles, not the versions of you that were built to survive what you've already outgrown. You're here to crack it open, to let the light in where there used to be armor, to feel peace even in endings, to walk away from what's heavy, not in bitterness, but with a quiet sense of completion. And that takes more courage than most will ever see. This is not about being sure. It's about being ready, not to impress, not to be understood, but to finally honor the part of you that has waited so long to live without shrinking. So as you move through this moon, don't wait for a sign. Don't wait for everything to feel perfect. Just listen for the soft truth rising beneath the noise, the one that says, I'm not here to be who I was. I'm here to become who I really am. You're not waiting for magic. You are the magic. You are the frequency that shifts the atmosphere. You are the fire that no longer needs a spotlight to burn. Until next time, I'm Luna Celestine. Thank you, Leo, for walking this moonlit path with me. And if something in these words stirred something in you, share it, speak it. Let someone else feel less alone because you dared to shine. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and send this light to someone who may need it tonight. Your truth is the ripple. Let it move.